Tori and Audrey Roloff were once co-stars, close friends, and literally family members on Little People Big World until one day when everything suddenly came crashing down for them and they never explained why, and no one has ever really known the truth of these two and their fighting, and that is until now, and you'll never believe what happened with them. Although Tori and Audrey are married to twins, both brothers are nothing alike, and it's pretty obvious to anyone who has been following their family's show for years. Even in their marriages, you can clearly see the stark differences between them. And now, although no one really knows the exact time frame that this feud between Tori and Audrey began, a lot of people believe that it started right around the time Audrey and Jeremy decided to leave Little People Big World for good. In 2018, Jeremy and Audrey announced that they would be leaving Little People Big World to focus on their family and other engagements, but word around the street is that they weren't telling us the truth. Apparently, the real reason Jeremy and Audrey left the show was because of Audrey. So right around the time that they left the show, their daughter Ember was still an infant, and apparently Audrey struggled a lot with taking care of her baby and having cameras constantly watch her. And then the fact that Ember wasn't sleeping and feeding properly put a lot of strain on her because she couldn't control everything that was happening, and so she and Jeremy decided to leave the show. And to them, they were leaving to focus on just themselves, but to other members of the cast, including Tori and Zach, it put their job on the show in serious jeopardy. And there was a good, huge chance that Little People Big World would end up being canceled because it seemed like three families wouldn't, cut it. And although the show didn't end up being cut by TLC, apparently that was where the resentment between both wives started. And then there was the entire issue with Matt getting much closer to Zach, maybe as a form of punishment for Jeremy leaving the show. And this only made the jealousy between the couples increase. But if I were to pick one thing that actually caused the entire feud, I would say that Tori and Audrey just couldn't get along because of their egos, among other things. And apparently Tori and Audrey just couldn't get along because they were both jealous and felt inferior to each other, and coupled with the completely different dynamics that they both have in life. And Audrey and Jeremy are widely known for their conservative political and religious views on everything, and they always put their beliefs at the forefront of every single thing that they do. And while Tori and Zach, on the other hand, have much different values. Although Tori and Zach are also Christians, they seem to be quieter about their views, and so this also played a huge part in Tori and Audrey not getting along with each other. And if this wasn't enough, both brothers have constantly clashed on who should actually get the family farm once their father Matt retires. And at first, Jeremy was the one who made his intentions about wanting to run the farm open, and then all of a sudden Zach wanted to do the exact same thing. And I think this made everything feel like a constant tug of war where both ladies had no choice but to rally behind their husbands and despise the other person. And with everything that had happened, you'd think that maybe Tori and Audrey would try to hide the fact that they don't really get along for the sake of the entire family, but they don't. Even on social media, you can clearly see that they don't associate with each other. And if you guys can remember, when Audrey announced her third pregnancy to the world on social media, Tori didn't even congratulate her, even though other family members did. And what's crazy is that Isabel, who Audrey never got along with, also congratulated her. So now the big question is, why didn't Tori congratulate Audrey too? And I honestly don't know what made the feud between the both of them get so bad that they cannot even congratulate the other person. And they've even gone as far as to publicly throw some serious shade at each other, like the last time when Audrey was asked what her pet peeve was on Instagram, and she was like, she can't stand people who start their post with "Hey friends" or "Happy whatever day it is." And just before Audrey said that, Tori had posted a video on her Instagram story that she started with "Hey friends," and the entire situation between them got so bad that even their children were not left out of it. Apparently, they didn't even try to get their kids together for over a year, and the only time that the cousins got to see each other was when their grandmother, Amy, would bring the entire family together. And right now, things between Tori and Audrey have been radio silent, so we can only assume that behind the cameras and everything both of them have actually found a way to end their years-long feud, and this seems like the only reasonable explanation as to why they now interact with each other often on social media. But with the issue of the sale of the Roloff farm becoming more heated every day, no one really knows what will happen next. And since both Tori and Audrey stand firmly beside their husbands, we can only assume that if the sale of the farm ends up causing a much bigger rift between their husbands, then both ladies would be next. But I would love to know your thoughts on this, so don't forget to leave a comment. Well guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. Do me a huge favor, hit that like, follow, share, subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.